Hi everyone, I'm Megan. I'm 28 and originally from Boston. The words played in my head as I paced the kitchen, replaying the scene that had unraveled earlier. You embarrassed me in front of my clients again, Megan. Carter snapped, his tone sharp enough to cut through steel. I froze mid-step, gripping the counter. I just mentioned how we met in college. How is that embarrassing? He groaned, rubbing his temples. It makes me look unprofessional. Just stay away from my work events from now on. This was how it always went. 5 years of marriage and I was walking on eggshells in my own home. When we first met, Carter was the charming, successful 27-year-old realtor who swept 23-year-old me off my feet. But now, at 32, he was someone I barely recognized. You should listen to Carter. His sister Rebecca chimed in later that week at our usual family dinner. Her voice carried the same condescension that always made my stomach churn. He's worked so hard to build his reputation. The last thing he needs, is what, Rebecca? I asked, meeting her prim and proper glare head on. An embarrassing wife ruining everything, she finished, with a tight smile. Her words stung, as they always did. At 35, Rebecca never missed an opportunity to remind me that I didn't belong in their world. Later that week, while shelving books at the small bookstore where I worked part-time, my coworker Mia nudged me gently. Girl, you look exhausted. Everything okay at home? I hesitated before mumbling, just the usual. Carter's stressed about work. Says David, his partner, is breathing down his neck about some accounts. David, the twitchy one? Yeah, something's definitely up with their books, Mia said, her tone skeptical. I wanted to call Olivia, my childhood best friend, but Carter had labeled her toxic to our marriage 2 years ago. Olivia, who had been there since third grade. Olivia, who had become a forensic accountant and warned me about rushing into marriage. He's isolating you, sweetie, my dad had said before the wedding. Just like your mother's first husband did to her. Dad, Carter's nothing like that, I had insisted. Now, 5 years later, Dad's words haunted me. But when I tried talking to him about my marriage, he'd just sigh and say, "You made your bed, Megan." Last night, while searching for a missing bill, I found strange receipts in Carter's office, hotel charges, expensive restaurants, dates that didn't match any of his supposed client meetings. When I confronted him, his face darkened. You're going through my things now? This is exactly why I can't trust you around my business. Trust you? What about all these charges, Carter? The late nights? The secret phone calls? He grabbed his keys, his jaw clenched. I'm staying at Rebecca's. Don't call me and don't you dare tell anyone about this, especially not David. You have no idea what you're messing with. As I watched his car disappear down the street, dread sank into my chest. I was trapped in a web of lies, control, and secrets. What I didn't know was that the worst was yet to come. Months later, on a rainy day in court, Carter's lawyer stood before the judge, his voice cold and confident. Your Honor, Mrs. Thompson has displayed erratic behavior throughout the marriage, including stalking my client at work and harassing his business associates. I sat there stunned as every concern I'd ever raised about Carter's late nights and suspicious finances was twisted into evidence of my instability. That's a lie. I wanted to scream, but my lawyer's warning to remain calm echoed in my mind. The rain battered the courthouse windows as the lawyer continued. Furthermore, she has made baseless accusations about Mr. Thompson's business practices, clearly in an attempt to extort him. During recess, I overheard whispers in the hallway. Did you hear? Rebecca said Megan tried to seduce David to get dirt on Carter's business. Seriously? No wonder Carter's divorcing her. She's been after his money from day one. My phone buzzed. A text from Mia. Gee, Megan, you need to see this. David just forwarded me emails between Carter and his mistresses, plural, and something shady about their client accounts. Before I could respond, Carter's lawyer approached, holding new papers. Mrs. Thompson, we're freezing all joint accounts pending investigation of your allegations. Mr. Thompson claims you've been making unauthorized withdrawals. What? That's all I have. How am I supposed to live? Not my concern, Mrs. Thompson. Desperate, I drove to my father's house, rain-soaked and trembling. Dad, please. I have nowhere else to go. Carter froze everything. His face hardened. I warned you about rushing into this marriage, Megan. Now Rebecca tells me you've been spreading lies about Carter. trying to ruin his reputation. Dad, that's not true. Rebecca is lying. Carter's being. Enough, he interrupted, his tone final. You made this mess. I won't enable your destructive behavior. Your mother and I raised you better than this. The door shut in my face, leaving me standing in the rain, my world crumbling around me. My father's words echoed in my head, cutting deeper than the cold. As the tears blurred my vision, my phone rang. Mia, I croaked, barely holding myself together. Girl, come stay with me, she said firmly. At least for a few days while you figure things out. Mia, I can't ask you to. Shut up and get your butt over here. My couch isn't fancy, but it's better than your car. Later that night, wrapped in one of Mia's old blankets, I scrolled through social media. Rebecca's latest post flashed across my screen. So sad when people show their true colors. Money and jealousy really bring out the worst in gold diggers. Hashtag praying for my brother. The comments were brutal. Friends I'd known for years believed her lies, their words like daggers twisting in my heart. I can only keep you for a week, Mia said, handing me a mug of hot chocolate. My landlord's strict about guests, but we'll figure something out. I nodded, too numb to speak. 5 years of marriage had destroyed my reputation and shattered my trust. Even my own father had chosen Carter's lies over my truth. But as I sat there on Mia's couch, something inside me shifted, hardened. They thought they'd broken me, but they had no idea what I was capable of. I opened my laptop and started typing an email to Olivia. It was time to fight back. Girl, I've been waiting for your call for years, Olivia said, her voice a lifeline through the phone. Stay put. I'm picking you up. 2 hours later, we were in Olivia's home office, surrounded by stacks of financial documents that David had secretly sent me. This is serious fraud, Megan, Olivia said, her eyes scanning the pages. Look at these property valuations. They're inflating prices, pocketing the difference. And wait a minute, she paused, pointing to a section. These wire transfers to offshore accounts, what about them? They're authorized by Rebecca, I realized, my stomach sinking. Your dear sister-in-law's been helping Carter launder money through her medical practice, Olivia said, shaking her head. My phone buzzed again. It was David. Megan, I found more. That development deal in Phoenix? Carter screwed me over, pocketed my investment, and blamed it on the market crash. I've got all the paperwork. Send everything, David, I said, my voice steady. And thank you. Olivia whistled as she flipped through the new documents. Baby girl, they're going down. But you need to lay low while we build this case. Through Olivia's connections, I found a spot at New Beginnings, a women's housing organization. My new roommate, Jenna, worked at Summit Publishing. We're actually hiring for an editorial assistant, Jenna mentioned over breakfast. Way better than that bookstore gig. I don't know, I said hesitantly. Carter always said I wasn't cut out for corporate. Jenna snorted. Carter's an idiot. Send your resume. 2 weeks later, I was starting my new job. For the first time in years, I felt capable. Strong. Then one evening, David called again. Emergency, meet me at Rebecca's office tonight. In the parking lot after hours, he handed me a USB drive. Security footage, he said. Rebecca's been meeting with shady investors. Watch the May 15th video. Back at my place, Olivia and I watched in stunned silence. There was Rebecca, walking Carter's mistresses through money laundering schemes. 5 different women, all funneling cash through Rebecca's medical practice. Olivia shook her head, incredulous. Look at these dates, matches perfectly with those hotel receipts. My phone buzzed again. Carter. Hope you're happy living off charity. Rebecca tells me you're spreading more lies. Back off or else. Or else what? Olivia scoffed. He's getting nervous. We're close to something big. I spent nights organizing evidence, poring over every detail. Days were spent building a new life at Summit. My first manuscript acquisition was approved, and my boss called me a rising star. Look who's thriving, Jenna teased one evening, Miss Editorial Assistant with a corner desk. Then, one afternoon, Olivia burst into my office. Found it, the smoking gun. Rebecca had been falsifying medical billing codes, processing Carter's dirty money as patient payments. How much money are we talking about? I asked, breathless. Millions, Megan. They've been running a scam for years, long before you even married him. That night, I lay awake, the weight of it all pressing on me. All those years of gaslighting, Rebecca's snide comments, Carter's control, it all came rushing back. It hadn't been in my head. The evidence was right there in black and white. My phone buzzed with a message from Rebecca. Rebecca, heard you got some pathetic publishing job. Still trying to prove you're not a gold digger. Give up, honey. Nobody believes you. I smiled, thinking of the documents safely stored in Olivia's office. Oh, Rebecca, I whispered to myself. You have no idea what's coming. Moments later, a text from Olivia jolted me awake. Olivia, turn on channel 7. Now. The screen lit up with breaking news. There was Carter being led out of his office in handcuffs. Rebecca stood outside her medical practice, screaming at FBI agents. Anchor. A massive real estate fraud scheme has been uncovered today, involving prominent realtor Carter Thompson and his sister, Dr. Rebecca Collins. My phone exploded with messages. Mia, OMG girl, you did it. David, finally got what they deserved. Thank you. Later that evening, Olivia burst into my office at Summit Publishing, champagne in hand. 15 years, baby. The judge threw the book at them, she announced triumphantly. Not long after, my father's voicemail came through. Dad, I saw the news. I was wrong, so wrong. Please call me back. Delete. 2 weeks later, I sat in the courtroom. Carter and Rebecca were both being sentenced. Your Honor, I had no idea. Rebecca sobbed. The judge's gaze was unrelenting. Really? The evidence shows you personally processed over $2 million in fraudulent transactions. Carter tried to catch my eye, but I stared straight ahead, remembering all those nights I cried myself to sleep, thinking I was the problem. Judge. Mr. Thompson, this court sentences you to 15 years. Miss Collins, 12 years. Your licenses are permanently revoked. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed me. Miss Thompson, how does it feel knowing your ex-husband? It's just Sher Mitchell now, I interrupted, a smile tugging at my lips. And I have a book to write. 6 months later, my memoir, Raining Lies, hit the bestseller list. Summit fast-tracked me to senior editor. To karma, Olivia toasted at our celebration dinner. To friendship, I corrected clinking glasses with Mia, Jenna, and David. I couldn't have done this without you all. Did you hear? Mia whispered. Rebecca's husband filed for divorce. Can't handle the shame. And Carter's mistresses, Olivia added with a grin. They all testified against him for reduced sentences. Poetic justice, David said, raising his glass. My phone buzzed again. A text from Dad. Dad, saw your book at Barnes & Noble. So proud of you. Please, can we talk? I glanced at Olivia, who asked, Your father again. Not my problem anymore, I said, watching the TV above the bar. Carter and Rebecca were being escorted to separate prison transport vehicles. The news ticker read, Thompson siblings begin combined 27-year sentence for massive fraud scheme. You know what's funny? I said, buttering my bread. They thought making me homeless was their power move. Turns out, losing everything showed me exactly who I am. And who's that? David asked. Someone who doesn't need toxic people's approval to succeed. Later that night, I walked past my father's house in the rain. He was on the porch, probably waiting for me like always. Megan, please, he called out. I kept walking, my heels clicking against the wet pavement. My phone buzzed, a message from my publisher. Publisher, second book deal approved. Contract tomorrow. I smiled, thinking of Carter and Rebecca in their prison cells. Of my father, alone on his porch. Of everyone who tried to break me. Looking up at the rainy sky, I typed back, absolutely. Time to tell more stories that need to be heard. The rain felt different now, not like tears anymore. More like applause. If you were in my shoes, if your own father chose to believe your abuser's lies over you, would you eventually forgive him after he saw the truth? Or would you stand firm in your decision to cut him off completely, like I did? Share your thoughts in the comments below.